Hey everyone, it's Mike and Heather. We have sort of been putting this video off because we aren't really sure what all we're going to cover in it, and we've been dealing with some stuff at home. As you can see, we're in a car, we're in Western New York, we're no longer in the Dominican Republic. So we just wanted to give you a little bit of an overview of what's been happening, what happened, what comes next, but all of that to say, we sort of had another life happens situation. I feel like we were just talking about that with all of you, and yeah, some things that you can't plan.
We obviously took a couple of weeks off, but we're making this video in an effort to not ghost for an extended period of time like we did the last time in between selling our van and the Dominican Republic. So that's kind of why we're making this video, and where we envision it going is really just to kind of recap what happened and what comes next, even though we're not exactly sure.
Yeah,
but
just keeping you posted of what's going on, even though nothing's really going on right now.
Yeah.
One of the things that we found with travel is the most expensive part of travel is getting where you're going, whether it's through flight costs or driving there. Once you're there, there are things that cost money, accommodations, food, activities, but the vast majority of that expense is tied up in airfare costs, things like that. So what we had sort of figured out, and the way that we were planning on doing things, would be to go to a country and work for an extended period of time, or to stay for an extended period of time and work while we were there, with activities interspersed throughout.
Yeah.
So we'd sort of be covering our costs while we were in the country, which would allow us...
So that we weren't actually dipping into our savings, because we don't have an unlimited savings. So the whole idea is the savings money acts as a safety net and gets us to the next places, but we work while we're in the countries to offset it, so basically it's zero. So however much the trip was going to cost is how much we would stay and work in the country, so that way it always evens out. So the whole idea behind like our schedule in the Dominican Republic, and really every country going forward that we have plans for and itineraries mapped out, is so that way it's kind of like this symbiotic relationship, is not the right word for it, where it's like we get to a place, we have fun and work at the same time, so it all evens out.
Yeah, basically, if what we are doing we can do from here in Western New York, if we could just move that to a different country, that was the plan.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, for example, like our $900 to $1,000 rent payment every month, we then just pay that in Airbnbs, and instead of after work sitting at home watching TV, we could go explore whatever cool country that we were in.
Or be on the beach in a Caribbean paradise location.
Yeah, so it was really just wanting to fully embrace being digital nomads, but working was obviously like a huge part of that. All that to say is that even though we really didn't
do much,
or explore a lot, we were there for
an extended period of time.
A month, almost exactly a month, living there. But that's really just to explain why we have so few videos from there, even though we were there for so long. But the main reason is obviously because we had to go home and weren't able to complete the itinerary that we had in front of us. So the last time you would have seen us, we were moving to a new Airbnb in Cabarete, and that week was actually supposed to be all full of activities. We were supposed to go on that jungle cruise, and
we had some plans to
waterfall jumping, all
other
sorts
restaurants
of fun
to try out in the city. All that to say is we did have a plan for the Dominican Republic. You saw the beginning of it, the end of it was cut short, and I guess we'll explain a little bit of that.
So I don't want to get really too deep into it, because we choose to put our lives as public, but our families don't.
And it's not solely our event to share.
Yeah. But basically, we had a death in the family, and I don't want to cry, but like saying it out loud makes it real. So, but I don't want this video to be sad. But somebody very important to me and us and my immediate family passed away.
So we got the news when we were in Cabarete. We got a call early in the morning, and so basically it would have been the day after the last video that you saw. That was us getting there, and it was very shortly after that, sort of closed things up in Cabarete. packed our bags and headed home, and we've been there since. And so a lot of the time from then to now has been being here, being around family, figuring out everything that comes next, and reevaluating our plans.
The plan was always to come back for 1 month in the summer from June into July, which is the month that we're in now. So we were always supposed to be back within this time frame. We unfortunately just had to come back a month and a half earlier than anticipated. So we weren't able to complete our Dominican Republic travels, and it kind of threw off our schedule for the rest of the year because we wanted to prioritize being here for family, and plus we wanted to be home during this time. So it's definitely thrown off isn't the right word, because like obviously it's
altered.
not
it all altered the plans that we had.
And I wouldn't have wanted to go back out like a week after, like whatever,
this is where we want to be, where we feel we're supposed to be. All of this is our choice to say.
But looking forward, we obviously do want to travel. So we just had to rearrange a lot of things for later in this year. We have a family vacation coming up that we're not going to film or anything, but this September.
There might be certain parts of it that we can.
In the month of July and August, leading up to our family vacation, we're going to go on a Canada road trip.
I think Canada is a place that we are somewhat familiar with, but kind of superficially, if that makes sense. We've gone over to the Canadian side of the falls. We've maybe taken a short day trip to the Toronto area, but we've not really explored that part of the country. Our experience with Canada is a lot better, actually, of time spent driving through and doing all of that on the other side. So there are some really amazing things in Canada that we would like to see, that we've had on our list to go do. And this sort of feels like a really good time to actually go and do it.
We are from the Western New York area, which is
like Canada adjacent.
About an hour south of Buffalo. So Canada is literally an hour away from where we currently live, where our family is.
Yeah, it's just on the other side of Lake Erie, which is the smallest of the Great Lakes. So depending on where you are, when we went to college, we were literally 15 minutes away from Canada.
We obviously want to travel internationally, and we have an amazing country literally an hour away. So we're going to do a little road trip through there. I think it's the best of both worlds because we're really excited. We have a lot of things on our Canadian bucket list that have been for a while, that we've heard about through the many years of living so close to it. And also it keeps us close to home. Even like Toronto's only 2.5 hours from here. Yeah. And for me, I think that's kind of
something that is on our minds right now.
Yeah.
Liking the feeling of being able to get back if we're needed.
Kind of like ease back into traveling. I had a lot of anxiety before leaving about like just leaving family and that type of stuff, and then after something like this happens, it obviously heightens it. So I think it'll be a nice way to kind of transition into leaving again.
But
and still get to do a lot of really cool, fun stuff.
Yeah, and that's not to say that we're not excited about Canada. This is, like we said, something that we've thought about doing, but we
always just envisioned we'd have an RV while we did it. So we're going to be in this tiny little car, but that's fine.
I don't know. This vehicle may have shown up in some of the videos, like when we were building Appa out, but we'll have to do a more thorough explanation of this daily driver that we have, and that story. That'll come as we're loading it up for our camping trip. But some of the things that we're able to see in Canada, we're right across from the Canadian side of the falls, which has some amazing stuff. There's some really great cities within a couple hours of us. Toronto, Montreal, both really great.
And we've been to some of these before, but never like on camera. So
and as sort of travelers, and with that in mind. But Montreal is a very European feeling city. And then there's some really great outdoor activities. There's ferries to take to islands as you get further east in Canada. So things that are similar to stuff that we did in Alaska. A lot of really great things that allow us to travel in ways that we really enjoy.
And are comfortable with.
Yes.
I think road trips are something that we really do enjoy. We're not entirely sure what our Canada plans look like at the moment. So we have kind of two options. One would be doing Niagara Falls, Toronto,
up to Montreal,
all the cities up to Quebec City. Or there's kind of the more adventurous one, which I think we might be leaning, but also we do like the idea of
visiting some of the cities that we haven't really got to spend any time in.
Yeah, which would be going up through like Nova Scotia and Newfoundland and
Prince Edward Island, those places. The closest we've been to that is when we were at the top of Maine starting Route 1.
Yeah.
That sort of scenery is right up our alley. That would be absolutely incredible as well. So there's some really awesome options that we are tossing back and forth and seeing which makes the most sense.
Yeah, so if you have any suggestions, basically from Niagara Falls, Canada, up to
the top of the northeastern part of the country.
Yeah, Newfoundland. I think all the way up to the Viking settlement is kind of like where I have itineraried out at the moment. So anywhere in between that up there, we would love to hear any suggestions or things to do. We obviously haven't left on the Canada road trip yet. We're going to be here for a couple more weeks. So the next video that you'll see, we're going to film this upcoming week, about talking about like our work, the data annotation,
large language model AI training stuff, which we actually had a lot of comments asking about.
Yeah.
So we'll do something with that, explain a little bit about the type of work we do, how we do it, what you need for it.
Basically a rundown of like our job. If you're interested in it, things to know, the good, the bad, everything is going to be in next week's video. I'll put up a post a little bit later this week, like on our community page. So if you have any questions about any of like the jobs or anything else, we'll still go back and look at our digital nomad and Dominican Republic one and get some of the questions from there. But anything else, feel free to drop it on that community page post that I'm going to put, and we'll be sure to include it in the video. The next video will probably be a video of us like preparing, because we have to go dig out all of our
camping stuff
from
and figure out how to load
storage.
This car.
Yeah, and kind of come up with a plan. And then the next one will be us hitting the road. Or maybe even like next week. We're either leaving in 2 or 3 weeks. But we just wanted to kind of fill you in on what's going on and to let you know that our 3-week hiatus hopefully will be ending soon, because, you know, life's too short. So
and
might as well chase your dreams and chase happiness and all that super emotional stuff.
For us, we're excited to try and kind of get back into the swing of things. We've taken a little bit of a break from traveling and posting after we said that we wanted to try and be more consistent with it. So that's something that we're hoping to do. We also just wanted to thank all of you for the support and kindness and
being patient with us. But yeah, definitely for all like the love and support that you continuously send our way. It does mean more to us than you could ever know.
With that, we'll probably end this video here. Thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, hopefully we'll have some new and exciting stuff that is more of a happy vibe than sad vibes in the coming weeks. And we're excited to share our Canada journey with you as we get to that. So we'll see you soon. And thanks again for watching and being such a great community.